Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Working with Miss Dickey. Today, we'll be learning how to find the surface area of a rectangular prism. When we are talking about the surface area of a rectangular prism, what we are talking about is finding the area of each face of a rectangular prism. So in order to do that, we need to remind ourselves how to find the area of the face of one of the sides of the rectangular prism. And we should remember that to find the area of a rectangle, we need to take the length and multiply it by the width. And we're going to apply this concept to all 6 sides of a rectangular prism. To help you visualize what's going on, it's often helpful to look at the net, because when we're talking about the 6 sides, there's actually some unique properties. This side matches this side. This side matches this side. And finally, this side matches this side. And so what we actually can do is we can find the area of the blue by looking at the width and multiplying it by the height. We can find the area of the green side by taking the height and multiplying it by the length. And we can find the area of the red side by taking the length and multiplying it by the width. And what we can actually do is we can combine these all into one formula. And we want to do everything times 2 because there's 2 of everything. So we put in each of these. We're going to have 2 of the blue, so that's width times height, plus the green, which is height times length, plus the red, which is length times width. So let's see this formula in action. Here's our rectangular prism that we want to find the surface area of, and now we're going to substitute in our values. So in this one, our length here is 10, multiplied by our width, which is 2. And again, our width is 2, multiplied by our height, which is 3. And finally, we do height again, which is 3, multiplied by length, which is 10. And what you can see here is all the numbers are multiplied by themselves. So now let's do the multiplication. 10 times 2 is 20, 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 10 is 30. And so now we're going to add them all together. So 2 times 20 plus 6 is 26. 26 plus 30 is 56. And when we double 56, we have 112. And as for units, here we can see that everything's expressed in centimeters. So we're going to centimeters, and it's going to be squared because each calculation here is only done in 2 dimensions, not 3 dimensions, because we are not trying to find out how much space something takes up. We're trying to find the area of a 2-dimensional shape that's combined to make a 3-dimensional shape. The final kind of problem that you need to deal with is, what do we do if we pretend that a top was missing? Very often boxes are made to hold things and they don't necessarily put a lid on top of them. For example, like the popcorn boxes you get at the movie theater. And so then our formula changes. We're going to figure out which one isn't doubled anymore. And it's this top one right here, which is colored in green, which is where we multiply our length by our width here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put our length times width out here on its own. And we're going to double the other. So we're going to double our ends here, so this one right here, which as we can see is our width times our height. And we're also going to double our front face, which as you can see is our length times our height. And the same thing goes as before, we substitute in our values. So our length, as we said, is 10, our width is 2. And we're going to double everything in here. Our width is 2, our height is 3, and then our length is 10, and our height is 3. And now we just calculate it out. 10 times 2 is 20. We're going to double everything in the box. 2 times 3 is 6. 10 times 3 is 30. Combine those together, that becomes 36. And then that becomes 20 plus 72. And I'm sorry, I'm running out of space, so I'm going to go over here to the side. 20 plus 72 is 92 centimeters squared. So there you have it. That's the formula to finding the surface area of a rectangular prism. This formula works whenever all 6 sides are accounted for. And remember, if one side is taken away, you need to make sure that you don't double that one side. And so you need to take it and move it to the outside of this formula in order for this formula to work. I hope you found this video helpful, and we'll see you on another episode of Working with Miss Sticky.